Question number 12, Darroch Ball.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister for Social Development, does she stand by all her statements? If so, why?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, yes, when taken in context, because I believe them to be true and accurate based on the advice I received at the time.
Supplementary, sir.
Supplementary question, Darroch Ball.
Does she stand by her statement in the House when justifying her decision to cut funding to the Youth Limited Service Volunteer Program to just 800 places that, quote, I rely on advice from my officials who are working every day with these young people, end quote?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Yes.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Darroch Ball.
How can that be the case when she directly ignored her officials' advice that specifically recommended to actually increase funding for the program, for the number of places to be at 1,200, not 800, that a budget bid be prepared for such recommendations to Cabinet, and that NZDF would be informed of those plans?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Because that is only one part of the advice that I received. Another part of the advice was that in the September quarter, figures showed the number of 18 to 24-year-olds on a main benefit had fallen by 24% since 2010. And I repeat, the idea of the Limited Service Volunteer Scheme is to make available a work-ready program for young people who are on a benefit, and the numbers are now at 800, and I'm confident that we have the right number of young people going into that course.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Darroch Ball.
How can her justification to reduce places to 800 be because, quote, the number of young people on benefit has fallen as the economy has recovered, end quote, when her own officials advised her that their recommendation for 1,200 places was based on, quote, employment climate for young people and, quote, reflects the current economic situation and the demand of the, quote, target cohort?
Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, I'm not sure what document that member is quoting from, but what I can tell him is that, in fact, the September quarter figures show the number of 18 to 24-year-olds on a main benefit has fallen by 24%, and accordingly, because we were having difficulty filling the full number of places with suitable candidates who had a good chance of completing the course, we have reduced the numbers to 800, remembering, of course, that we increased the numbers as a response to the global financial crisis.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Darroch Ball.
Can she explain why her officials have stated in the Ministry's own strategic plan document dated June 2015 that the Ministry will be, quote unquote, investing more into the LSV program, and yet at the same time she is actually reducing places and funding?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Yes, Mr Speaker, I can explain it because this government has a number of initiatives aimed at young people and helping them into work. And so the youth services have been introduced, which provide wraparound services for young people, and that runs alongside the LSV program. In addition to that, we are continuing to trial new methods of working with young people to help them into work, because we know the chances for to lead a successful life depend on us getting them into work before they turn 20.
Point of order, Darroch Ball.
I seek leave to table the advice given to the Minister obtained through OIA, dated December 2014, which does state all of those recommendations.
Order, I don't need to know any more information.
And is signed by the Minister herself.
Order. Member needs to behave himself. I will put I put the leave. The paper's been described adequately. I will put the leave. It'll be for the House to decide. Leave is sought to table that particular information from the OIA process. Is there any objection? There is none. It can be tabled. Point of order, Darroch Ball.
I'd like to seek leave to table the strategic intentions document from the MSD, which quotes that there is increased funding to the LSP program.
That's available to all members. Further supplementary? Supplementary question, Carmel Sepuloni.
Does she stand by her statement, quote, moving off a benefit and into work is good for the whole family as it puts more money in the pockets of parents, end quote. And if so, why then won't she support my Pathways to Work bill, which incentivises part-time work so those same parents can earn a little more without being penalised?
Either of those two supplementary questions, the Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, certainly this government is encouraging people to come off benefits and into work because we know that that gives them and their families better lifetime outcomes. However, the member's proposal in her member's bill has the opposite effect on people at the other end of the scale, where they are able to work up to 30 hours a week and still remain on benefit. So it actually reduces the incentive for people to come off a benefit and go into full-time work.
Point of order, Chris.
Mr Speaker, I want to draw your attention to Speaker's ruling 200/4, which states that ministers who make incorrect statements must correct those in the House at the earliest available opportunity. I want to seek your guidance as to whether that applies in a situation where a minister refuses to answer a question on the basis that they claim that there is an incorrect assertion in the question, as was the case with Mr Joyce earlier today, and in fact whether, once the information has been presented to demonstrate that in fact that was correct, whether he needs to correct that.
No, I think on this, I don't need any assistance. The question the member's referring to was asked. In that particular question, a suggestion was made which the minister disputed. That's a legitimate answer to that question. If subsequently information becomes available, then it's for the minister, when he becomes aware of that information, if he considers it relevant and important enough, to come to the House and correct it. I presume the minister will do so if he sees it relevant. That concludes questions for oral answer.